Hello and welcome to the Corona Yoga Challenge, and today is day 64. Please make sure that you check my website for how to keep safe, other videos and how to adapt poses for your health, and also do subscribe here if you want to get video updates. We're going to start by coming onto your mat, so make sure that your mat's nice and steady on the floor so that you're going to be safe and comfortable. And we're going to come down onto our elbows. So if you've got long sleeves on, I've picked absolutely the wrong top for this, but you're going to slide up your sleeves so that you've got bare skin, so that you're going to have bare skin meeting your mat. And you're going to just take your elbows slightly narrow and you're going to slide your weight forwards and back. So nice easy movement over the back of the body, and try and use your breathing so that you're inhaling to come forwards, exhaling to come back. So you get that lovely feeling of a little lift as we come forwards, and then sink back, breathe out. And then a couple of more times. As you sink your hips back, just keep extending them back and extending your hands out in front of you. So you're going to start to get a little bit of opening into the armpit, so you can straighten your arms a little bit. And think about looking down towards the floor so that the back of your neck stays nice and symmetrical either side. Pressing down into your knees to bring yourself forwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to an elbow plank. So from here you're going to take one leg out behind you, and you need your elbows so that they're underneath your shoulder joints. So mine are probably still a little bit too far away, so that when we come up we've got a really good feeling of steadiness down through the elbows. So you're going to extend one leg away, and then you're just going to extend the other leg away. You can see I've just got my palms just slightly joined so that I'm not tense in the hands or up through the shoulders because of that. And knees going to find the floor. We're going to have the option of taking both knees up together, so walk your knees away a little bit, and then you can lift your hips off the floor, or lift your knees off the floor, and then you can slide your hips down so you come more towards that steady, even, long line. And you're gently extending back through your ankles and through your heels, and shoulders are moving down and away from your face, so we feel wide across the back of the shoulders. Knees are going to come down and onto the floor. Extend your hips back for a moment. Allow the breath to relax you. And then coming back and onto your elbows. So from here we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to have the option of taking one foot off the floor. So you're going to bring yourself up, so allow the hips to come up to start with, and then slide them down so we get nice and long and in line. And then you're just going to take one leg and you're going to stack it on top of the other if it feels good. And then we're going to swap over so both feet find the floor again, and the other foot just steps on top of your own ankle. Back of the body stays nice and long. Feet both find the floor, so we're back to even. Knees come onto the floor. You're going to walk your hands back towards your knees. This time allow the hips to sink back towards the heels. Allow the elbows to be a little bit wide, and let your head rest onto the floor. So forehead starts to get heavy. Back of the neck relaxes, across the shoulders relax, across the back of the pelvis relaxes. Easy breathing. And bringing yourself back up and into all fours. We're going to come up to standing from here, so if you want to bring yourself so that you've got a little distance between the feet, bend through the knees, allow your elbows to rest onto your thighs, fold forwards for a moment. And then press down through the feet, lift up through the pelvic floor, up through the hands, all the way up and overhead, and then hands come down to your heart. We're going to come to standing forward bend from here. So if you take your feet quite wide on the floor, but make sure, or on your mat, make sure that the outside edges of your feet are nice and steady on the floor. So if you come too far, this sort of thing will happen. The outside edges will be slightly lifted up, or they will not make good contact. So it's so important you're gluing down through the outside edges of the feet, and you might need your feet to be narrower for that to be possible. From here, you're going to let your hands rest onto your thighs, and you're going to start to slide your hands down through your legs. So the knees can soften at any point, and you're just going to keep allowing your hands to come a little bit lower, or just rest towards the knees or the thighs at the moment. And then soften your back so the shoulders release down. Bend through your knees, press down through your feet, bring your hands all the way up and overhead, and then back to your heart. We're going to do the same thing again, so you're going to let your hands come down through your legs, shoulders come up and into the room, knees soften as much as you need. And then from here you're going to slide your hands a little bit lower if it's comfortable. So at the moment we're working with that long through the tummy and through the front of the body feeling. So we're not curling down. But now we are going to allow that to happen. So you're letting the shoulders come in towards your legs. You're letting your head relax down. And then bend through your knees. Lift up through the pelvic floor, up through the hands, all the way up and overhead. And then hands come down to your heart. Make sure the outsides of your feet are still glued and steady on the floor. You can take them wider if you can get that real feeling of stability from the legs. Otherwise, come in narrow. Same thing again, slide your hands down through your legs, let yourself fold forwards. This time, if you want to, you can take your hands onto the floor. You're going to draw your elbows towards one another, and you're going to let your head ease down towards the floor. We're not touching the floor, we're just getting that feeling of down through the head and lifting up from the heels to the sit bones. And then lengthen your arms so you come back to that straight back feeling. And then bend through your knees, stretch up through your hands all the way up and overhead, and then hands come down to your heart. From here you can either kind of tic-tac your foot back in, or you can step your foot all the way back in, whichever is going to suit your body best. We're going to come down to do a sitting twist now, so if you bring yourself to sitting with your feet out in front. Now, I'm just wondering here, I think I'm going to have to move this again. So you're going to have your feet out in front to start with. You're going to take your hands onto the floor so you can take both feet to one side. But this time, can you take your knees so they're a little bit further away from you, so they're slightly more relaxed and the feet are not as close in towards your hips. So you might need your hand on the floor. You might need a little block underneath your hips so that you're sitting a little bit higher up. And then we're going to take the top leg and you're going to extend it back. So I'm going to do it this way so you can see. So you end up with the feet further away from your hips. We did it a couple of weeks ago or close before, where the legs end up close in towards you. This time you're letting your legs come a little bit further away so that you get more movement through the pelvis if you like. So this front knee might want to come up. This is where we might need a block to keep ourselves nice and steady and comfortable. And remembering that when we are, if there's any feeling of stretch here, it's not going to be around the whole of the knee area. The stretch is going to be in the hips, in the pelvis, or in the hip area, not in the lower back area. Again, if you've got issues or if you've got sensations in your lower back whilst you're doing this, then bring it in a little bit closer so that your sacrum lower back is very relaxed here and doesn't feel like it's really doing anything. Want the main movement to be into the hips and thighs, this sort of area of the body. You're going to take your hands away from your feet, so you're going to spiral yourself up and round. Spiral yourself up and round, shoulders relaxed down, and then bring yourself up and forwards and in towards your feet. And then we're going to come back to just nice and neutral, and we're going to kind of bring ourselves over to the other side. So what we're going to do is take your hands onto the floor, bring both knees up, bring both knees down to the opposite side, and you'll probably end up in a fairly similar position. You might want to just adjust your legs so that again you're setting your hips steady and down and you've got a nice feeling in your hips and legs. Remembering no stretch in the knees, no stretch in the very lower back. So the other stretch of the areas of the body are in where the muscles are, which is fantastic. From here you're going to let yourself spiral round towards or away from your feet. So get a feeling of lengthening up through the tummy, which is going to help bring you round. And then bring yourself in towards your own feet. Same thing, lengthening up first. And then bringing yourself back to the centre. You're going to bring yourself into a seated position so that you can do a little bit of breathing. We're going to focus on that easy breath where we start low, we go bigger, 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 all the way up to the collarbones. And then as we breathe out, just softening and letting the breath come out. So we're going to start, you can take your hands onto your tummy if it helps, because sometimes if you're not so aware of your breathing, it can really help to go, oh yeah, I can feel it, I'm definitely breathing, and this is where I'm breathing. So just that awareness can be a great benefit. And then we're going to start to breathe into the tummy, get a sense of that widening and deepening in the tummy as you breathe in, and then up and into the rib cage and all the way up to the collarbone, so you feel like you're full of air. And then breathe out, let the breath come out and be really relaxed. Same thing, inhale into the tummy, wide into the rib cage, so the rib cage fill and expand in all directions, then all the way up to your collarbones. And breathe out, nice, easy, soft breath. Do go faster or slower as you need to, but I'll do this one more time. Inhaling deep into the tummy, widening and expanding, and then out and into the rib cage. So with that 3D movement of breath coming into the ribs and then all the way up to the collarbones. Nice and full of breath. And then breathe out, relax. So my challenge for you today is to think about what is on the walls of your house that you appreciate. So it might be, like my friend, you've got some rather super kind of tree wallpaper. It could be a particular piece of art that you really love. It could just be a plain flat wall, which is a colour. And I'm just thinking about a particular shade of bizarrely, a kind of very light pink that I'm really enjoying in my own home at the moment. I'm saying bizarrely, light pink's a lovely colour, it's just I sometimes don't associate that with myself. So anyway, I'm still enjoying it. And the quote for the day, it's from Rumi. Let the waters settle, and you will see the moon and stars mirrored in your own being. Let the waters settle, and you'll see the moon and the stars mirrored. That went so badly wrong, I'm starting again. Let the waters settle, and you will see the moon and the stars mirrored in your own being. I hope you have a good day, peaceful day, and I hope, if you like rain, that you get some for your garden. I'm looking out on a very, very rainy, wild day, and that feels pretty good actually. Hope you have a good day. Bye.